powerful. Cesar, oh
Yes.
my God. I can't even tell you how long I've been watching your videos, like for years. I mean, like a decade, like it as long, I feel like as long as you've been doing this, you're a legend.
20 years.
20, literally, I think I was like, dare I say, has it been 20 years? Oh, we're dating ourselves. But yeah, I just like, I think your work, you've been like the pioneer for being the dog whisperer for just everyone. And, you know, I feel like I continue to come back to you where like literally, I would watch like Carl Jung videos or like about psychology, but then like dog videos would come up and I'm like, oh my God. And, you know, it would be very comforting, like as I was going to bed at like 2 a.m. and like about like what happens in a dog attack. What do you do in this? What do you do in, you know, about the dogs that are, you know, just really tough cases. And you always seem to, you know, be the pack leader and just, you know, it's really about like the people and the energy that you come in. And I've learned, you know, walking into a room and making sure, walking into a room instead of being like, oh my God, you know, the dogs. So it's just like, hello, just being very grounded. And the dogs just, they're our shadows. They mirror us. And how did you get into this? Like, when did you realize that you had this, you know, Dr. Dolittle, amazing dog whisperer ability?
I think the dog can reveal, or animals can reveal the energy of each country, just like a dog reveals the energy of each family. So when I came from Mexico, I grew up in a completely different frequency of an energy between human and dog. Right? Mm-hmm. Then now you can see America is very excited with dogs. Mm-hmm. So instinctually, I knew that something was off, mm-hmm. but I have to learn English to teach the American people what was this thing that is off. Then, okay, how do I explain to them, right? Mm-hmm. But I saw it from the moment I came to America. Just like you see those the freeways, you know, as an immigrant, I'm looking at. It's a completely different world, right? And that world has energy, has philosophy, has actions. Mm-hmm. And that's what makes people Americans, because they have a certain energy, a certain philosophy, a certain actions that makes them American. Mm-hmm. Just like the Russians, we know when Russians are around, we know when Chinese are around, we know when Italians are around. You know, even with the Latinos, we know when the Brazilians are around, right?
Or Portuguese, the Spaniards.
They live in a different energy. Right. So that's what instinctually I saw. Right. So from day one. So the answer is, at the moment I walk into America, I feel something different. And that's when I decided to, instead of going to dog training, I went into human training. Mm-hmm. Right. So I began to say, I don't train dogs. I rehabilitate dogs and train humans. That's my profession. So I was doing that before National Geographic came mm-hmm. and offered us, you know, a beautiful 20 years on TV.
That's incredible. That's amazing. So when you said, you know, something was off, obviously we're very excitable people. I mean, you can see the state of the world of where we are now. But I mean, like, we were founded on, you know, radical, like, we were the rebels. We were the, you know, like, you're not the boss of me, like, you know, our whole Constitution and Declaration of Independence and taxation without, oh my God, I learned this in like 5th grade and I can't remember it. Something about, what is it? The taxation? Doesn't matter. So my point is, what was different about Americans? And, you know, what was off, and what do you think? Like, obviously, I think everyone in like the US for the most part, like, we're very like dog friendly, I would say. You know, you go to like any state and everyone loves dogs. And then there's, you know, but from your opinion, like, what do you think that says about like our reflection as Americans? And then I guess outwardly, like, how do the cultures like change?
Yeah, America loves dogs, and America gives rights to dogs. But America has aggressive dogs, fearful dogs, and dogs who ignore America, fight, flight, avoidance.
Mm.
Right. So also you can see the same reaction with the humans. The humans will fight the parents, will run away from the parents, will ignore the parents, and that doesn't happen in other countries.
Mm-hmm.
Like where the parent is the one you can't surrender, where the parent is the one you happy-go-lucky with, and eventually you learn to become confident. Right. So loyalty is number one.
Mm-hmm.
So with a dog, you can see that America prioritizes love.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They skip loyalty, leadership, life, because it's 4 L's, not just one. Right? Loyalty, leadership, life, love. Love is extra. You see, it's beautiful to have love, but loyalty is more powerful. People can love you, doesn't mean they're loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
Loyal people, they're more likely to love you.
And and how does that relate to dogs?
Because then the human goes, I want to have a dog so I can love him, or he can love me back. So the priority becomes love, right? The priority should be about a dog understanding silence, second calmness, and then a surrender. Because when they give you their silence, their calmness, surrender, they give you their loyalty. And if they give you the loyalty, you can be a leader. And if you can be a leader, you can live a life with them. And on top of that, you love them. On top of that. See, love is at the end. Love is the one, it covers loyalty, leadership, life.
Wow.
You see it?
Yeah.
So it's 4 worlds. It's 4 worlds that you need to connect. You can't just connect to the heart. As a man, I can't just connect to the heart of a woman. That's just one part of her. Right? She has a spirit, she has instinct, and she has a mind on top of the heart. So most dog people, dog lovers, they go after the heart. They want to connect with the heart. And then, because they can't really be successful with that concept, then they think, I need to train the dog. Right? Then they go into dog training. So they go after the heart and the mind. Heart, I go after the spirit and the instinct. Then the heart, then the mind. Trust, respect, love. That's what the new formula that I gave to the people is: trust your spirit, respect your instinct, love with your heart, create with your mind. So these 4 energies allows you to have the law of attraction with animals, because you are generating trust, respect, love. So they are very attracted to trust, respect, love. They're not just attracted to love. My clients are dog lovers. You see it?
Yeah. Okay. So what do you think? So loyalty, you would say, or it's respect? Would you say is our biggest?
Is number 2. Respect has to do with instinct, and loyalty has to do with belief. So that's your spirit. So your spirit is about honesty, integrity, loyalty. Right? That's your spirit. That's living at the highest level of the motor code. That comes from your spirit. Your responsibilities comes from your instincts. You need to be part of a pack, water, food, shelter, reproduction. You play a role in the pack. That's instinctual. You see it? And then you're here to learn about love, and you're here to learn about creating whatever you want. So that's why you're here on this earth. You get it? And the easiest way is, especially for me, so I come from poverty, I come from whatever, and I come into a new country. How can I become who I want when I have no money, no family, and I don't speak the language? Faith, that's my spirit. Hard work is my instinct. Passion is my heart. My mind is created. So that's what people call us street smart. You see it? But street smart people have a high spirit, high instinct, and high passion, because we have no choice.
You have no choice. Exactly. Yeah, you're scrappy.
You're life and death.
You're super scrappy.
Life and death. You see what I mean? So when you live in life and death, you go in the middle, and that creates all the beauty of, and that's what animals live. They know they're gonna live, and they know they're gonna die, but they're gonna live to the fullest. And so they stay right in the middle. That's why they're very honorable, very respectful, very loving, and they help each other. Yeah, that's an animal, right? It's all about honor. It's all about respect. It's having a good heart. In the animal world, the leaders that we have will not exist because they will never follow an unstable pack leader. So
Mm-hmm.
someone with the wrong energy, they will never follow it. Someone with the wrong
Wow.
actions, they will never follow it. So no human on earth that is right now leading the world would be a candidate.
Suitable. No way. No chance.
No.
Yeah.
Because they are not honest. So, to be spiritual, you have to be honest. And that's pure. So they're very pure. Right? Why?
Yeah.
Because they're very honest. See, when you see a dog, what you see is what you get.
Oh no. Why? My Siri. No. God.
Siri, stop.
Oh my God. Mercury's in retrograde. It's retrograding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, something did go wrong. And we definitely, I mean, that's a whole other sidebar. And I do think like dogs are a reflection of us. And you talk about energy, like that's a big thing. And what does that actually mean on the deepest level? Like, is it intuition, attunement, communication? I mean, I guess it's all those things.
I think we can all do it. We just have to arrive to the silence, right? Because we have to master silence, and then we have to master calmness. So when you have silence and calmness, you can assess and evaluate things. Humans, dogs, environments, right? That just means you master your silence. That means you master your calmness. Remember, America goes to India to learn about this silence, to learn about this calmness, to learn how to fast. You see it? So America goes to India to learn this concept of silence, and calmness and breathing, learn how to breathe, right? And not eating every day. Or they go to Peru for ayahuasca, for enlightenment, right? The plant or the yogis are going to the two things that are very important to be with animals in such a safe, peace, love way, right? Because they enjoy silence. They know this is about patience. So the vibration of silence gives you patience. And patience gives you this feeling of eternal. So imagine when you're coming into the environment around dogs and you have this belief system, because obviously you have to believe, right, to generate the energy. Right? So then you come in with silence and calmness. So everybody can do it as long as they do it at that level of silence and calmness. But America, when they see a dog, they do what? Oh my God! You see it? So it's the opposite of silence. So they're going to meet with an excited dog, or they're going to create an excited dog, right? They're not going to create a peaceful dog because that was not the meeting, right? They're not going to create a calm dog because they move really fast, right? So peaceful and calm, that gives you safe peace. So in order for children to be okay with animals or Rottweilers, Pit Bulls, German Shepherds, whatever, the energy of safe peace have to be in the animal for parents to guarantee that the kids are going to have an amazing experience with their dogs.
Yeah.
And that can be achievable. It's just humans need to remember silence and calmness. That's why I said no touch, no talk, no eye contact. No touch, no talk, no eye contact. Let the dog come to you. Wait until he tells you he trusts you, then you can touch.
Yep. It's funny there. I think like as a little kid, there was like all these sled dogs, and there was such communication, even in the silence of the vibration that you could feel that some dogs were like the sled dogs. So there was, I don't know, there's probably like 30 dogs, and they were chained up, and they, which makes them even more aggressive because they want to, say hi. And I'm like this 5-year-old wandering into someone's backyard and just being like, dogs. And then it's almost as if I could feel the vibration of, oh no, this is dangerous. Like the dog is not happy, where there's like it's before it like even like bares its teeth, but it's like, space. And then other dogs, oh my God, I love you so much. And but I thought that was like interesting that if you're paying attention and if you're listening, you can feel it. Like, and even if, there was a moment where I'm like, oh no, when I'm walking my dog on the street, and sometimes there are some, like you can see like, oh, this person is not in control of their dog, and then it's making the dog even more aggressive. And sometimes, you have like pit bulls that have like a high prey drive, and sometimes that can, I've rescued pit bulls. They're wonderful. My boyfriend has one, and she's like a pit bull bulldog mix, but Sometimes for Charlie, like, he sometimes thinks he's the boss, which is probably a reflection. Like, I'm like, oh, well, where am I doing that? And where am I? The dog is a reflection of me, but he's also very chill. Like, it's interesting. Also, I noticed when my dog or our family dog was with my mom, the dog would be very like hyper. And then the minute it was with me, it would just be so chilled out. So, I mean, that was like, and I remember thinking that as a kid, like, why is it like Nimbus is so different with me than he is with like, he's like a different dog. And so, I mean, learning everything that you've done, and then, trying to embody just being like, oh, like not letting him, like, if he's pulling me because he's excited wanting to go outside, I'm like, no, we're calm, we're fine. And like waiting for him to like be calm. And then I'm the one who's opening the door first. I'm like the leader. And, so sometimes like, and then I noticed like with really aggressive dogs, there was I think it was a husky or something. Something recently that I saw, and it bit like the sister of the woman, and they have like, I guess like her leg or her face, and also the father. I don't know if you remember, but you've helped so many dogs, but there was like, it was amazing to see, because every time you had like a tennis racket in the backyard and you were like having to like course correct, and it wasn't like anything aggressive. It was more like, no, you were like gently helping the dog to submit, because the dog is like feeling protective over, I think, the mom. And the mom was like, oh, okay, like, I love you, instead of like praising, rewarding that behavior. So how did you walk me through a situation like that? Because the minute that like you would be walking, I think the husky, like it would want to look, or I think it might have been like part wolf or something, but it was like walking and it would look at the otother dogs, and they're like, no. You'd have like and then you keep going, and then, and then eventually like, because it would get really aggressive and try to attack like the neighbors. And so you would have like the neighbors come by, like shakily be like, oh, I don't know. Okay. Walk me through a situation like that looked pretty dangerous. And then you handled it amazingly.
So here's 3 words: natural, simple, profound, right? So the dog needs to learn everything natural, simple, profound. What people bring me is confusion, unhappy, chaotic, right? So, right? And so again, I'm looking at, is he confused? Is he unhappy? Is he chaotic? Right? Chaotic is when you see the aggression, right? Because it's low, medium, high. So And so based on that, that's what you human have to come out with: higher level energy of silence, higher energy of calmness, not just confidence, because confidence can trigger a fight.
Yep.
So if people come to you tense confident, they can trigger a fight. But if they can come to you calm confident, they can trigger a learning experience. Right? Because your instinct is going to pick up, I like the energy and I like the words. So I'm not going to fight, flight, avoidance. Yeah. So most people don't know how to block or redirect while the brain is already in chaos. You see, because that's all you got to tell the animal. I'm going to block this. I'm going to redirect this. I'm going to block this. I'm going to redirect this. And then the dog learned that I'm driving the mind different.
Interrupting the pattern, right? You're interrupting the pattern.
Asking, bring back, calm, surrender. Bring back, calm, surrender. Bring back, calm, surrender. Right? And that's what I'm bringing back. I'm bringing back. So then the dog, every time he sees me, that's the guy they ask me for calm, surrender. Because my parents asked me unconsciously for fight, flight, avoidance. You see it? By not being aware of energy and practicing the right psychology, because dogs are dog psychology, they're not human psychology. So a lot of people do practice human psychology on a dog, right? What do I mean by that? Most people talk to the ear of a dog. See it? Sit, stay, no, do it. Come here, over here. Let's go over here, right? So there's a lot of here. So it keeps the brain like this.
Right.
I come and talk to the nose because I'm quiet. 60% of the brain is controlled by the nose. So then I can bring food and redirect, or a toy, or a blanket that he knows, a scent that he knows, right? I can bring it because I'm enticing the nose. Most people entice the ears or the eyes, right? Come here. Look at me, 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 right? So trying to convince the dog like if he was a human. So that alone shows you that the dog is never going to understand it. It's because they're not ears, eyes, nose. They are nose, eyes, ears.
Okay, so like you're always having like a treat to like reward.
No, not always.
Oh, okay,
not always. No, I mean I can have one now. But when a dog is red zone, like aggression or red zone fear, they don't take food.
Oh, that's right.
Or they want to kill or they want to run away.
Wow.
Mine is already made, so they don't want food. They already it's like a car without brakes, right? It's literally a car without brakes going downhill, right? So you have to by you understanding block and redirect, you're slowing down until you get to the part where the dog is, okay, I guess what you want is my calm surrender. That's it. That's all I want.
I think this is what you taught. So when you're like, let's say, so my dog at 14, he's in great shape. He's still like, he's like a parkour dog. Like he's jumping up everywhere. He's a little terrier, Yorkie Chihuahua mix. And I found him in the street in downtown LA, just wandering. And you know, he was like going to run into oncoming traffic. His name's Charlie. He's amazing. How do you handle like, so when, you know, my instinct, I'm like, ooh, if I can feel certain, dogs with like a high prey drive, how do you handle like the meet and greet? But sometimes like, you know, the people on the street where I'm like, I can feel they don't have like a handle because the dog is lunging forward and like wants to say hi, but then they're pulling back. And then I'm like, this is like a hairy, it's 12 in the morning. Like, I don't really feel like saying hi. And then I'm almost like they're being insulted because, you know, then it reflects, you know, they're feeling like, oh, you're not going to say hi. And then they're making it something mean about pit bulls or like whatever. I mean, like, look, pit bulls have tried to attack my dog before and like, you know, and nothing ever like, you know, I'm there, but I rescued a pit bull. And like the minute when I tried to introduce them, I mean, she was like 60, 70 pounds. And I was like, she is so strong. And she was like growling and I was trying to have them meet. And it was like, okay, we're not going to do this. Like, all right, you don't want to say hi. That's totally fine. Maybe not today. She was on high stress, like, you know, in a kill shelter. So it was like not the time, but I, you know, I rescued her and then we found it, you know, I put her with a trainer and I just, you know, obviously I had my dog with me. It was anyway, but how do you, it's a whole other situation, but how, like when there was like a moment when I was like walking like 12 in the morning and there was like, you know, a 20-year-old woman with her boyfriend, but like the dog was lunging forward and I was like, I don't feel good about this. How do you, and so I immediately was like, hey, thanks so much. I'm so sorry. Like, and then just kind of walked away and she got insulted. But I was like, how can you adeptly handle those situations of a meet and greet? And like, how do you, I guess, like, how do you figure out those things in those like social situations and the dog park?
I think if you see it more like what's the safety protocol in the streets, right? For everybody. Because sidewalks is not a place where you do socialization. That's, you know, and doing it this way is the worst, you know, because their dogs don't know each other.
Yeah.
So the best way to create like an incredible experience for dogs in the city is for them to walk together. So it become a pack as the humans walk in the same direction, right? Because otherwise they're not human. So why would they say, hi, how you doing? My name is this, and my humans are afraid of Rottweilers and German Shepherds, but somehow we have to meet, right? So imagine you just picture, you know, what happens in the world, right? People want their dogs to meet, but the dogs are not balanced. So it's not even safe. It's not even smart, right? It's not smart. It's not safe. It's not loving. It's not a good instinct. It's just this fantasy that people create. But, you know, so, you know, in your situation, I would change the way I go into the streets and behave more like if my dog is a therapy dog, right? Where they needs the space. And then you walk with that state of mind. And then, you know, because if you don't have like how do I want to be treated by the universe, or how I want to be treated by energy, they just keep coming to you. So you can be attracting people to fit into your chaos, or to fit into your lack of rules, boundaries, limitations, because you're not creating a bubble. You see it?
Oh man, I want to get into this. I feel like you're so you're like a manifester. So you believe in energy and like, laws of attraction. And I love this. This is my jam.
Yeah. But exactly. So if you believe in the law of attraction, what would you like to attract? You want to attract people that give you space. You want to attract people that have good common sense. You see, you want to attract people to understand rules, boundaries, limitations. Right. So that's what you want to attract. Obviously, manifesting is great. But what is it that you want to manifest? Because you can manifest the wrong things. And most people manifest the wrong things because that's what they focus. Right. You're going to manifest what you focus. Right. And then another reason why to be patient, calm, confident, love, joy, because that's going to give you the push of the energy to make your dream, your idea, or your mission, or your goals come truth.
That's amazing.
Can't manifest with fear. You can't manifest with insecurity. You can't manifest with lack of knowledge, because then you're going to manifest the wrong thing.
100%.
You know what I mean? So might as well manifest with the 5 good energies: patience, calmness, confidence, love, joy. Any goal, dream, mission, especially leading a dog, should be manifested by patience, calm, confidence. It's just a walk. You just manifest as a good walk.
Yeah.
You see it? And so what's the outcome of a good walk? Well, you're going to feel happy. You're going to feel healthy. You're going to feel loving. You're going to feel smart, right? So for 1 hour, you're manifesting, because you're in your bubble with your dog.
No, I love that.
Most people don't do it. Most people walk with a harness on, flexi leash. They're on the phone. Well, so what are they manifesting? Disconnection. That's disconnection, right? Yeah, walking a dog is a dog goes right next to you. You're in the zone, and you have a blinder, and you just walk. Obviously, your eyes are open, right? But internally, you know how you feel, and you feel patient, calm, confident, love, joy for 1 hour.
That's awesome.
That's going to manifest the most amazing walk ever. And if the world can do it today, they will all have an incredible walk. Right? Because that manifests safe, peace, love. That manifests trust, respect, love. That animals have a spirit. So the spirit wants to be peaceful. Animals wants to be safe. That's just a natural thing. So how can they feel peaceful and safe when the human is not patient and calm?
Yeah, then they can't trust their pack leader.
No, your kids will not be able to trust. Mom is not patient. Mom is not calm. She talks about it, but she's not. And how do they know? Because their spirit tells them, their instinct tells them. So the words only goes to your mind. The energy goes to the spirit. The energy goes to the instinct.
Oh
the
my
energy
God. 100%. Oh my God.
You see it? So
no. You're speaking.
We manifest from relationships.
Yeah.
It's not money, fame, and power. Everybody thinks law of attraction and manifestation is for money, fame, and power. Yeah, I mean, you can. And once the people manifest that and they have no happiness, health, and heart and hope, what do they find out? That it's not about money, fame, and power. So we need to learn to manifest natural, simple, profound. That's what dogs are here, right? And then we go and do the money, fame, and power.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, Jim Carrey, he said that. He was, I hope everyone gets the money, fame, and power so they can see exactly that it's not what you think it is, because it's like, I had definitely I was like a top tennis player and achieved a lot of things that I wanted to achieve. And then once you get there and then, the sacrifices that you make and then all these things. And then, what's really interesting is that your fantasies also are intrinsically linked with your nightmares. So it's like if you don't unpack them fully and fully understand what you're asking for, which is in my early 20s. And then I was like, oh my God, this is a nightmare. This is not what I like. I was like, whatever this list I concocted in my head because it made me feel important, it made me feel loved or from this external place. And then you have to completely deconstruct all of that, go back to the beginning and be like, oh, I manifested what I wanted, but this wasn't, I didn't really think this through. And, so then, or relationships or, it's the same sort of thing. And then having to fully, be clear about the highest good of like what it is you want, of like, the journey of looking for wisdom and joy and peace and love and, and being your best self in, for the highest good, not just for like, I don't know, like a one trick pony of like, oh, I won an Oscar. Oh, like I have the best podcast, but I want to kill myself every day. Like that sounds like miserable, like,
Right.
What was that something you always thought about? Like in terms of like energy, did you kind of tap into that? Like, did you meditate when you were younger?
I guess by default, right? Because when you grow up poor, sometimes there's no food, so that puts you in a meditative state. I didn't call it fasting; I just call it I had no food. Right? So in a way, you end up surrendering to what keeps you alive, right? Which is food, and having water, and be grateful to water. And so, meditation. What is meditation? Well, to achieve silence, calmness, and surrender. Right. So that's it. So by default, I did it, and I grew up around animals, so they will benefit from this meditation, this forceful meditation.
That was forced upon you by God.
I didn't know I was doing yogi stuff. I had no idea. I'm from the north of Mexico. We never heard about Buddhism. Or like Pilates or yoga or just never. We're from the north. We hear about narcos, right? So I'm from Sinaloa. So
God damn.
So no, I mean, by default, yes. And that absolutely, help. I grew up with a pack, my grandfather, my grandmother, my father, my mother, my sisters, and my cousins and uncles, a big pack. Right. And so we saw my grandparents as the pack leaders, and then my parents, all this beautiful, structure did help. But we all went through the same day. We were all hungry. We were all thirsty. We all did it together. Mm-hmm. So and then unconsciously, we're generating that same energy together. We ride the wave together. Right. But we didn't consciously know that's what we were doing.
Of course not. Yeah.
No, otherwise we would have felt, let's open a yoga. Come to this side of the world. We, the Millan family, will teach you how to be without food, water, and all of that stuff.
But like, that's pretty profound that you can like be so aware of just those metaphors of the pack that, you created, and the language you created of like learning about energy and loyalty and all these things that are, of creating like a healthy pack. It's, I don't know, it's just interesting that like, you've been able to transform lives, like, over and over and over, because dogs are just doing what dogs do, but, they've done that for thousands of years. And I feel like for people, we're constantly like, I guess, evolving and trying to be better all the time. And, I think like every couple hundred years, it gets better and better. We're like, oh, we shouldn't kill people, or like whatever. It was like, it's not Game of Thrones,
Right.
So how, what do you think is like the biggest, shift in people that you've seen? Have you seen that like over like just a collective in general, or like what is your most notable story that you were like, that lives were transformed? Because obviously like it's a big reflection. Like horses do this, like equine therapy, like they literally, they're prey animals, so they mirror back like whatever you're feeling, and you're like, whoa, like I'm feeling anger, like I'm like, no, I'm sorry. Like I was working on set, like on this film, and it was like a pretty tense set. And there was just a moment that I was like really upset about how things were going. And I was confiding in a friend, and I was so like, in fact, I was like, and this, and then, and then the horse was like, and then like ran away. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And the horse is like, and I was like, I know. I'm so sorry. You didn't, you know what? It's not on you. This is not your fault. I'm so sorry. I'm in a situation. It's untenable. It's hard. Right. I'm so sorry. So I'm communicating, and I'm literally like, and then the horse comes over and it's like, I'm so sorry. It won't happen again. not in your company. And the horse was like, okay, we're cool. And then I like pet the horse. I mean, it literally came back. And so the amount of times that I've communicated with deer, I could like pet deer in the wild, like literally in Zion, that, you know, there was a mountain lion that looked like it was going to eat me. And I was like, we're not doing this today. Okay. No, not today. Thank you very much. I know you want to eat me and Charlie. No, we're not doing this. So I feel like there's this language with animals that I'm like, it just blows my mind that you can, you know, it's incredible. And so I feel like you're really in tune with that. Sorry, I'm just going on this like long-winded rant, but what I'm trying to figure out is like the language that I feel like animals are able to mirror back. And then, you know, what do you think is happening in the human consciousness? And then, you know, what is like your most notable story that stands out in your mind?
Remember, I'm a man, so one question at a time.
I'm so sorry.
Remember,
there's so many things
I'm the
know.
dog whisperer, but I'm still a man, just a simple man. I can't hold on so much information. I swear to God, women, I can't.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. I know.
We're very limited with one question at a time.
I'm going to get railed in the comments of just being like, Susie, you're killing me. I'm like, I know.
Okay, so the most profound thing that people I see do, you know, now in 2025 is the part where people are now saying, it's not my dog, it's me, right? Because the reason why you were able to achieve that with the horse or with the mountain lion is because you took full responsibility of your energy, your philosophy, and your actions, and you managed to do it. With whatever words you did it, but you were able to radiate, you know, patience, calmness, confidence, love, joy, right? Whatever words you use, words, you know, in the animal world don't have any power unless it comes with the right energy. That's why a lot of people say, sit, 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 and the dog doesn't sit. And then whatever actions you move like a superhero. So you're moving like a superhero, you're doing this thing. And so the animal is reading that, is feeling that. So can all animals do it? Yes, of course, all of them, because they all have spirit instinct, first and foremost, right? So if you tap into the spirit and you say, hey, trust me, and you tap into the instinct and you say, hey, respect me, that's what you're going to get in return. You're going to get trust and respect. And they're going to peacefully walk away or move away, right? Because you embody the energy that protects your bubble. So you claim your space. You see it? You make your bubble big.
I do that all the time. Do you practice that? Do you imagine like there's like a white light around you, or you are like, I forget, it was like Joe Dispenza talks about this, like your astral plane, you know, of like your energy bubble, and you can like push it outward. You know,
But the bigger the pack, the bigger the bubble, right? Because I walk llamas, horses, and you know, 65 dogs. So the bigger the pack, the bigger the bubble.
Wow.
You see, so you can tangibly make this bubble with animals, right? Or you can just go and manifest and, you know, go do it. But I think it's your instinct and your right. It's best when you can see it. When you can see the 65 dogs stay within your bubble, when you can see the different species, 70 different species and dogs follow this one human being, right? And so they're in your bubble, and you're doing the law of attraction, the law of creation, and the law of maintenance. All of those laws are right there. You attract them, you create it, you move them, right? So boom, 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 boom. And so if you do that every day, when you walk into a room, you're going to walk with that bubble.
That's amazing.
The animals are not physically there. They're spiritually, yes. And memory, yes. And in your heart, because you love them all. So people are going to feel something. And what you have is all these animals in your memory. Just like traumas, right? Well, the more you help souls, the more you get this, right? You charge yourself because you just help somebody. Just like a trauma, it goes into your, so the same thing, when you have good friends, it goes into your, and then those good friends makes your energy bigger.
Definitely.
Right? Your family, when you come from a big family, you walk with that bubble of a big family. You walk with it, right? You know how many times how you win, you know, tournaments, you walk with that bubble because you won that tournament. You believe in yourself. You went and did it yourself. You were passionate about it. You use your mind. You see, it's every time you challenge yourself and you move away from discomfort,
Yeah.
the only thing that's going to happen to you is grow.
100%.
Yeah, and so that's why people with dogs, their happiness should grow, their health should grow, their heart should grow, and their mind, their memories. Because life is about three things: it's about life, it's about time, and it's about memories. And so if you use these three things wisely, your energy will grow.
That's really beautiful.
You see it? So when you go back, into your spirit, you use your spirit right, you use your instinct right, you use your heart right, you use your mind. And so when you come back, you don't have to do the homework you didn't do before.
You're blowing my mind because like I had so many like dog questions. Okay, so what happens when the two dogs get into a fight? And now we're just talking about energy and like the quantum field and like I feel like, but I mean, I do think that everything starts there, so that actually completely makes sense.
Because coming to a dog or a cat or a horse, you have to come with that same philosophy.
Yeah,
it's not a philosophy that only humans practice. Animals practice the law of attraction, the law of creation, and the law of maintenance. So, right, animals practice trust, respect, love. Animals practice safe, peace, love. Mm-hmm. Animals practice exercise, discipline, affection. Mm-hmm. Animals have this competitive self. They have this dominant self. They have this predatorial self. Mm-hmm. So earlier you were saying, some breeds are more predatorial. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Some people do breed a certain male, female with a predatorial energy, mm-hmm. but that's not really how what animals want to live in. Right. So a dog should
Correct.
be competitive, right? Competition, because mm-hmm. that's good for game, to play with them. Mm-hmm. Right. Like mm-hmm. agility, mm-hmm. Things like that, mm-hmm. fly ball, even going to the Westminster. It's competitive. Right. So they should have that. It's a competitive spirit. What you can get rid of is the predatory behavior. So it's not because they wanted to, it's because a human left it in it or opened it up. Because a lot of times people create predatory behavior when they say, "Where's the squirrel? Where's the squirrel?" And so it makes the dog excited. Once it kills it 1-2 times, it turns predatory. If he doesn't kill it, it turns into competition. Who's faster?
Interesting.
You see what I'm saying? If a dog moves squirrels out of his environment, it turns into dominance, right? Mm-hmm. But he never killed it. So dominance and competitive, it doesn't require killing. So when you open the door and you're saying, "Where's the squirrel? Where's the kitty?" You can open the predatorial state of mind. Mm-hmm. There is every predator, and that includes dogs. Mm-hmm. Cats, right? Cats are very predatory.
Yeah.
More than dog, by the way.
Totally. They're killing machines.
Yes. They're like a little tiger in your house.
Totally. Right?
Or they're in the universe. They're like connected to spirits. Like the cat, when I do ceremonies, I bring the cat because that cat tells me once I arrive.
Wow.
Yes. So animals, connect you to God, to earth, to your heart, to your mind.
Yeah.
So that's why you can then connect back, connection, communication, relationship, and have a well-behaved dog. Because that dog has a well-behaved human. So you see what I mean? It's a mirror to each other. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's just the human takes the leadership position because they don't rationalize. You see it? So it's your responsibility to take the leadership position, just like me raising my kids. I am the pack leader. But between my mom and me, she is the pack leader. So she will always be the pack leader.
That's amazing.
Right? So immediately, as soon as I'm in the presence of my mom, what do I give her? Calm surrender. I don't fight flight avoidance. I never did. I was a good kid. Mm-hmm. You see what I mean? So that's what we want from our dogs. We want our dogs not to fight flight avoidance, but that means we're a good parent, pet parent.
100%. 100%.
You see, good energy, good philosophy, good action. Good energy, good philosophy, good action. That's what makes you a good parent to humans, or parent to a dog, or a leader to humans.
Okay, so when I was like trying to help rescue this like sweet pit bull, and then mm-hmm. there was no place. I was like, I was living in LA for a really long time, and then I moved to Park City, and then I was just kind of stopping over in LA, and I was just seeing how many dogs were being euthanized completely healthy. It broke my heart, and I was like, I have to do something. So I rescue this pit bull, and then, she, and then tried to introduce her to Charlie. And then when I put her with a trainer, and I was like, well, maybe I can like have her be properly trained. And she ended up getting adopted and was a great dog. But the trainer had said that, that she has like a high prey drive, and some certain dogs just do. And like, that's just what it is. And they're never going to get along with, little dogs. And I was like, really? So I never could have. So that kind of, is that more like a reflection of, because I didn't know, I was like, okay, this is out of my wheelhouse. Like, so I was sort of like I knew I was like, I'm not an expert at handling the situation. Like I didn't feel like confident or comfortable because I was like, she was really, really strong. And I, knew treats and, the things that I knew about dogs, but she like, what do you like, I guess, yeah. How, like, is that true? And then also when I was like watching a friend's dog had like, they talk about like resource guarding. So like, this little puppy like nearly like wanted to kill Charlie. So I fed them like separately, but then somehow the puppy got over to Charlie's food and like went after like somehow, or some food fell or something. And it like, that was the first time I think I was like really scared, and I was like, oh my God, what do I do? And so I like put the dog, the puppy sort of in a timeout to kind of calm down nervous system, brought the puppy back in. What would you say? And then everything was fine. Like, but then I was like, oh, maybe don't have like, toys around. Like, I wasn't sure. Okay, what do I do in this situation? I realized I like didn't know how to like properly handle, I guess, resource guarding or what I guess the other trainer was saying. And so.
Did enough time happen? Did it like this dog receive enough exercise for a long period of time? I'm not talking about just 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, right? Because a lot of time it's pent up energy, right? It's pent up energy, right? And so the more you remove pent up energy, then the real dog can blossom. Then eventually the dog is introduced to different things, different dogs, different, chickens, different things. Then the mind learns rules, boundaries, limitations. Mm-hmm. So you slow down this excitement, because in order for them to go in predatorial state, the mind needs to be excited. Mm-hmm. You see it? So how can the mind become excited? Well, from lack of exercise and lack of clear rules, boundaries, limitations, right? Mm-hmm. That's what makes you behave good, when you understand rules, boundaries, limitations. Like at the moment you go to Singapore, boom, 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 rules, boundaries, limitations, right? So your mind knows what the rules, boundaries, limitations, right? So it allows you to know how to behave. So it slows you down. Right. So I don't know if this dog received enough exercise, mental stimulation. Here, the dog will go into pack walks. So the pack will begin to help the dog. Hey, this is what we do here. Hey, this is how we do it. You see what I'm saying? So if the dog is by himself being trained, he's not being rehabilitated. So rehabilitation and training, because the only thing you train is the mind. You rehabilitate the spirit, the instinct, and the heart. Right? So you put it back together.
That's awesome.
You don't train the spirit, you don't train the instinct, you don't train the heart. You fulfill each one of them. And then when the spirit is happy, you're going to see happiness. When the instinct is happy, what you're going to see is surrender, right? That's the beat. And then the heart can be, practice this love energy activity. But not until you have that, you can't put a dog in front of another dog, because you still haven't arrived to full calm surrender. You see it? Yeah. So I don't know. We don't know what was his daily routine. That he went to the beach, that he swam, that he rollerbladed, that he went into a treadmill. Was he challenged before?
Right.
He wanted to put in this position where he's gonna fail. Right. And then if you're the one who's going to be in the middle, imagine you already said to us, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I do want to help, but I don't know how to do it. Right. So the person in the middle, the one who's going to make the introduction, you're not 100% sure.
Right. And then I'm displaying that of like, well, the dog can't trust me because I don't know what I'm doing. So then like, that's not a trustworthy. Yeah.
Right. By you not knowing what to do, you're going to end up not trusting yourself. And if you trust yourself, you end up not respecting yourself because you didn't trust yourself in the beginning.
That is such a lesson in metaphor for life.
You know what I'm saying? So trust, respect, love. So the human who introduces two dogs for the first time in their lives, that human has to be trusted. He's the ambassador, right? So he's the one who's going to put you, Germany, and you, United States, get along. You see it? Oh, you, Palestine, and you, Israel, get along. Somebody has to bring this beautiful energy because that's the outcome we want to achieve. What do we want? Trust, respect, love. When it's a bad situation, the first thing we have to focus on trust, respect, love. It could be war with humans or chaos with dogs. It's the same. It's the same. It's just easier to achieve it with dogs than with humans. It's easier to achieve safe, peace, love. It's easier to achieve trust, respect, love. It's easier to achieve connection, communication, relationship. It's easier because animals don't want to live in war the rest of their lives. They want to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Humans, they don't mind to postpone happiness. Human, I don't know, but life is beautiful.
Totally.
Right? To live in this silly, I don't agree with you agreement, right? It's two agreement. So at least with dogs, we humans should learn agreement. Our energy should be good. Our philosophy should be dog psychology. Our action should be about exercise, discipline, affection, body, mind, heart. For you to become an athlete, you need to do exercise, discipline, affection, discipline the mind, and reward yourself once you did the exercise and the discipline. Because it's not reward if you don't do that. You're not going to become an athlete if you don't do the body and the mind. You're not. You're just not. You can love things. Doesn't mean you're doing it. If you're doing it, that means you're disciplined. That means you follow through. That means you have integrity. That means you are a person of honor because you're following through, even if you don't love it.
You're Mr. Miyagi-ing my brain.
It's the same thing for dogs. So we all have to be Mr. Miyagi for our dogs. Wax on, wax off, baby.
What is like the biggest lesson that you've learned from this work?
Self-knowledge, who I am, self-value, and self-love. So I got to see who is Cesar Millan, which is very beautiful to know, to get to know who you are. The internal part. I'm not talking the external part. Talk about the internal part, right? That part, like that. So by me being able to challenge myself, leaving Sinaloa, crossing the border, coming to America, learn the language, having two children, and then say I want to be the best dog trainer in the world. But nobody around me has ever been the best dog trainer in the world for me to say, hey, sir, how do you did this?
I mean, you're a household name for like you're the only household name that I'm aware of that I've that you've been indelible in the zeitgeist. So that has to be pushed, So throughout, but when you're doing things like you said it earlier, you don't slow down. And then once you slow down, you say, wow, this is who I am. That's awesome. What did you figure out about yourself when you slowed down? Who are you, Cesar? What was the biggest discovery about yourself?
I love my spirit. I love my instinct. I love my heart. I love my mind. That's what I discovered it's not just the idea that I had. It's just how I was able to make the idea tangible. Even though it's a lot of obstacles, right? So growing up in Sinaloa with the cartels, that's an obstacle. You can die any second, right? Those people just kill people for no reason, right? And then coming to the border, you have to jump the border. You can die in the border. You can get kidnapped in the border. There's so many ways to die, right? And then as you come into America, you can breathe a little bit better. So, right? So it's all these obstacles regardless. So that took faith instead of fear. That's my spirit.
Yeah.
And then, leadership and learning how to figure it out in the street. That's my instinct. And then the passion that I have for dogs. And then my ability to create things out of nothing. I created words, trust, respect, love, rules by limitations. So I can give it to people who love dogs and want to have a good relationship. Because really my goal was, how do I help people to understand this in a natural, simple, profound, so they know that they can do it. They don't have to be super smart. They just have to be super committed, right? It takes commitment to live a good life for yourself and for others, right? You got to be committed 100%, right? And that's what makes you a good pet parent. You have to be committed. Look what happened after COVID. Everybody adopted a dog during COVID, and then after COVID,
they dropped them. Yeah,
that the mind was not committed.
Yeah,
right. Oh, I need time. No, you don't need time. You need to know what it takes to be with someone for a long run.
Well, most people didn't want to sit with themselves, I think, is the issue. Like, you know, it's like if you sit with yourself for a while, then you get used to it. Then you can then you're comfortable with, you know, all of you. And then you don't need something to sort of take away the pain or whatever, you know, whatever it is, you know, that we have to deal with, or dark night of the soul. And then you're like, all right, well, you know, so.
It wasn't about the relationship. It was more about the fantasy of having a dog.
Yeah.
Right. Because that's why as soon as COVID passed, and then now you have a perfect excuse why you need to return it. Yeah. What happened to honesty, integrity, loyalty? What happened to that? You see it? So that's what we need to understand. That's what we need to get to know about ourselves. So when people like yourself or myself, we go through things and we make things happen, and we do it from nothing, that's the outcome. You get to see your spirit, you get to see your instinct, you get to see your heart, you get to see your mind. And that's practically what we're here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To see ourselves and manifest what is. And also helping people. You know, one of the things for me is I like to help dogs, and those dogs have a human. So I help, you know.
It's a 2-for-1. Yeah. What is a story that stands out in your mind that you know, you remember that just, I mean, there's so many stories. There's so many, you know, videos that I've seen that I'm just blow my mind of you see a follow-up and you're like, oh my God, my life has changed. Is there any story that comes to mind for you that stands out that, you know?
My favorite is before Daddy passed away, my pit bull Daddy. My favorite, because that guy was in another dimension. So he's 16 years old. He's in his last. So I go to this place and they have a Belgian Malinois that was terrified. And that guy belonged to a trainer, and the dog didn't trust humans. And I said, listen, if we move them out of that table, he's going to get traumatized, right? And I said, it's only one who can get him out of there. Well, I go to my RV. Daddy was waiting impatient. He's never been there, but he felt what I felt away from him. I go open the door. He comes out like he's full of life. He's come out like a bull, and he finds this dog, touches the nose. We have all this in film. Touches the dog in the nose. The dog comes out, follows Daddy, put him in the RV. See, that's the magical part. That's the stuff that is no leash involved, and how this dog knows. And I know that he's in his last time of his, the loyalty, right? The passion, call it telepathy, call it whatever it is.
I believe in telepathy all day long. You're talking to the right person.
You see it?
I've seen it.
I saw. And a week later, he passed away.
Wow.
That to me is you know, because it's my dog. I saw it from the moment he was 4 months old all the way to he 40. I saw many, many incredible things with Daddy. And honestly, Daddy and I changed the world. It was a pit bull and a Mexican guy changing the world. It's just people called me the dog whisperer, and they called Daddy Daddy, but it was a pit bull and a Mexican. Changing the whole. We both were a stereotype. One was a pit bull, the other one was a big. But once you have, you know, the title of the dog whisperer, you are a different human for people. But that's my favorite story.
So the telepathy that your dog could immediately intuit, you know, what you're you're sending the signal, the dog's picking up yo, I got you. Don't worry.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's exactly how it happened.
I feel like dogs can, you know, the amount of times I'm like, hey, Charlie, come on, let's go to sleep. Or Charlie be like, okay. Just like Charlie knows, like, I'm just like the amount of times I feel that there's like conversations, but even, animals are amazing. Like even deer, like, like I was saying, horses, like the whole conversation I had with that horse, like it kind of blew my mind. Yep. What do you think is like the biggest, like, what is the legacy that you want to leave behind? And what's the biggest, most important message for like Americans or just people in general with like the message that you want to leave behind?
America is a platform. America is a platform for the world, right? Everybody wants to come to this platform. America is the pack leader of the world. And so definitely is through America, right? So through America, I was able to give this knowledge to the world, right? Which is just about exactly what we want. We want to achieve connection. We want to be able to know how to communicate and then develop a relationship. So what I want to leave behind is just the formula and the rituals, and the dog as the symbol, right? And so that's it. Any generation can go back to energy, philosophy, action, right? So if a dog develop fight, flight, avoidance, it's because energy, philosophy, actions is not being done with the right formula, right rituals. Right? Because animals have their formula, animals have rituals, right? And so they don't just do things just because they do things. No. It's very ritualistic when they meet each other, when they're about to make each other, when they're about to eat, and everything, laying down, everything, very ritualistic, right? And so if you miss this part, you're not going to be able to connect, communicate, have a relationship with the spirit. Connect, communicate, have a relationship with the instinct. Connect, communicate. You see what I'm saying? So it's 4 layers of them, and each one requires the acknowledgement. I need to acknowledge your spirit. I need to acknowledge your instinct. I need to acknowledge your mind. I need to acknowledge your heart. And all at once. So that's why I say patience, calm, confident, love, joy. That way I can acknowledge all of you. You see it? So, hey, that's it. That's the communication. You don't need words. Right? I have to learn English so I can teach people. But in reality, with a dog, you don't need words.
Yeah.
You can be mute, you can be deaf, you can be blind, and you can still have a good connection, communication relationship with animal.
Amazing.
You see it? So handicap for a dog will be that you don't understand your energy, you don't understand the philosophy, and you don't understand the actions. That will be handicap. But if you're handicapped and you understand that, you will be totally, perfectly fine. That's why blind people can walk dogs.
Yeah.
So to live a natural, simple, profound life, that's my way. Everybody, if you're poor, natural, simple, profound. If you're rich, natural, simple, profound. If you're in the middle, natural, simple, profound. And that's it. Don't forget that that's what we're here for. Not only for money, fame, and power. Not only to create chaos and be unhappy and live chaos, confused. It's an option. You have that choice. God gave you that choice.
God gave us free will. Exactly.
It's free will.
Yeah, but you don't know what you don't know until you know it. So I feel like you can't. I certainly like, being like an athlete and then sort of like being in the wrong relationship and then, being like, okay, there's familial patterns that I want to, change. And then you have to kind of descend into chaos because you have to make some, different decisions, but then you're like, God damn it, I did the same thing, but just it looks different. Or you're like, damn it, I did it again. Oh no. And then you have to keep on learning and you keep getting sent the same lesson and then it keeps getting better and then it keeps getting better. And then it's sort of like you graduate and it's like, oh, here's another problem. Like it's a totally different one. And then it's like, but who are we to, understand human consciousness without the weights that we're pushing against. So, it's like the weights that like make us stronger, but they also like, they help us grow. And, it also reflects back to ourselves. And I feel like you don't know what, and that's, I feel like the biggest takeaway in the last year for me was like, you don't know what you don't know. And so like a lot of people, like it's like in the Bible where it's like, they don't know what they're doing. And so I feel like every time that I get really upset. I'm like, how do you not know like basic decency, And then I'm just like, Thou Father, they do not, they do not know what they're doing. And I'm like, God damn it.
That's right.
But then I have to like go back to myself. Remember when you didn't know? I'm like, yeah, I remember.
Nope.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. So it's like, it's a work in progress being a human. And then dogs, I think, like reflect back to ourselves, or animals reflect back to ourselves, like where we could need improvement. And they, constantly, I've had so many conversations with some of my best friends that they're like, whoa, our cats are angry, so we're angry, or they're like, whatever that is, or like, oh, my dog is like really anxious. I'm like, my therapy dog needs a therapy dog. Like, now I feel like Charlie's just super chill. He's like 14 and he is like, he doesn't like loud noises. He's like an old man. He like, you guys are talking loud. I'm going to go in the other room. Leave me alone. Like he wants his peace, but he can't really hear very well, but has so much energy. What do you, I know you probably have to go, so thank you for being on for an hour, chatting with me. What's your best advice for keeping Charlie like healthy and happy and joyful? And I feel like he's very joyful. But how do I, like, as he's, getting older, I've just noticed, he likes more space. He, loud noises. If the TV's on, he likes to go in the other room and I give him his space. So I'm sort of like, he used to be really cuddly and now he's like just wanting more space. So I'm like, okay, what happens when I guess the dog's getting older, and I'm just trying to, respect.
I don't know his lifestyle for me to suggest more good stuff, right? I don't know what good you do and what part you're not doing. But an old dog, they don't have to raise a dog, but they can be around. They can be around a puppy just to bring that energy, right? Where an older dog immediately is going to go, hey, this is the rules by the limitations, okay? And that to them is something mental, right? The dog doesn't have to stay there, but the little puppy can come and visit, right? And so for him to be around pups immediately will remove the part of dominance or worrying about it, because the puppy doesn't have that energy. But at least gives the instinct something to do. Right? For example, I'm just, things that I don't know what he does, what's his lifestyle, what time he wakes up, what time you walk, how do you feed him, all that stuff. I don't know. That's why I like to go to people's home and assess and evaluate and see and ask, simple questions. And then create a better roadmap for the dog so we can challenge him, right? Or we can decrease the challenge, and which is never the case. Most people do not challenge the dog enough, right?
Yeah,
most
probably don't.
Most dogs go outside 30 minutes twice, and that turns into 1 hour. But the rest of the time, the dog was 23 hours inside the house.
What if I take the dog everywhere with me, though? Like I generally take him like a lot of places.
Well, that's great, but that should be the right thing, because that's what dogs with homeless people are so happy, because they go everywhere, right? So the nature of a dog is to travel, follow, play, explore. And so migration is also another word for travel, right? So the more the dog moves from place to place to place to place to place, the better they're better for that adaptation, right? It's even one block from the other block, it smells different, it looks different, sounds different. And so the brain is practically exploring the world. Right. So sometimes just you changing your dog from wherever you live and you go to a different place, that alone is incredible to them. That's like an incredible movie on Netflix.
I do take them like when I can. I take them with me just pretty much like I'm like, okay, we're going to, go to the store. And like, thank God, like New York is a very dog friendly, or LA. So I would always take them with me unless like I had to be on set or unless I had to work. But like, generally, everyone's like, are you always taking your dog everywhere? And I'm like, yeah. It's easy.
That's normal.
Yeah.
That's normal. Yeah, that's absolutely normal. Dogs in Mexico, we never talk about, freedom, but they're always free.
Yeah,
and so
they are. They're always wandering. Egypt. I just came back from Egypt. It's the same thing. It's like South America. Yeah.
They are in the pyramids, right? So like this guy.
Totally. They are everywhere all over the pyramids. Yes.
Like the guards of the pyramids. And so imagine that lifestyle, right? And then they go to the markets and then they go to whatever. Totally. Whatever. They freely move around. Right? That's what they look peaceful. That's what they look like they understand how to be in society. Versus a dog that is trained needs to be told what to do. A street dog knows what to do. So what does that mean? He's allowed to survive. He's allowed to believe he can do it. So it's spirit and instinct, right? And then you get to see, obviously, that they don't eat as much as the American dog, right? Because dogs in third world countries are skinny, but they don't have psychological problems. Dogs in America are chunky, and I get to have a TV show.
My dog, thankfully, he's in very good shape. I think that's why
you're in good shape. So it has.
He's 14, and everyone thinks he's a puppy, which is I feel every time I'm like, I feel like I'm doing something right, like of keeping him super healthy, and he's always very happy. Like his demeanor is always very happy. And then,
health goes to happy, happy goes to health. You know what I mean?
It's so true. It is. And then I'm like, okay, good. Does that mean I'm happy and healthy because the dog's mirroring that? And so then I guess that's a good thing.
Unconsciously, now we have to learn to do it consciously. So there's a lot of people who do unconsciously, right? But then we have to learn to do it consciously. And that's what people want to learn how to manifest. Right, because a lot of times they manifest and they don't know how do I do this, but then they want to learn. That's what they go to Joe Dispenza, right? To learn how to make it consciously this manifestation. So when people are with dogs, they can manifest always a great walk. They can always manifest a good play. They can always manifest follow, play, explore. One of those three, because those are the three activities dogs love to do. People like to do the cuddle. That's more for the person, right? But the dog to say I had an incredible day. He follows somebody, he play, explore, follow, play, explore.
Cesar, on that note, you're amazing. Thank you so much. I think that's like a perfect place to end it. I'm literally feeling so inspired to take Charlie for a walk of literally doing just that. I feel like such a takeaway from this experience. I had no idea how spiritual you are. I'm very that's sort of where I live, is the spirit realm and talking to spirits or dead people or, it's like the whole, you get it. You've done ayahuasca. So So
yes, ma'am. I get to help a lot of those.
So I feel that's kind of, I just went to the pyramids and I feel like the takeaway that I got, I meditated in one of the temples and it was just keep going on the path. You're doing everything right. I was like, okay, all right, good. So I feel like this is a continuation of that conversation of keep going and, refining and creating consciousness, to be more conscious of how to create continually creating joy and loyalty and trust and all those things. What is it? So one more time. So it's loyalty. Damn it.
No, just go for the 4H. So happiness, hope,
health,
hope. Right. So the 4H.
4H, happiness, hope.
Happiness is for the spirit. Health is for your instinct. Love is for your heart. Hope is for your mind. Okay. So if you want the 4 L's, loyalty for your spirit, be loyal to God. Family or be part of the pack. Love with the heart. Live with the mind. Loyalty, leadership, love, life.
I love that.
You see, so you just need one word to inspire, to remind you, what to wish for. What should I pray for? You see what I mean? Well, pray for safe, peace, love, trust, respect, love, happiness, health, heart, hope. Just pray for that. It's great. It's just the best foundation you can pray for. And then build on that foundation. Build your money, fame, power on that beautiful foundation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you can always come back to foundation.
Yeah.
And what's foundation? Foundation is happiness, it's health, it's good heart, it's hope. That's good foundation. Yeah. Foundation is loyalty, leadership, love, life. That's good foundation. See it? So you can have money, no money, but you can always have your foundation.
100%.
That's responsible of it. That's a choice that God gave you. You see it? It doesn't have nothing to do with money. It has to do with you human understanding that you have a choice. The choice to be a good human or the choice to be a confused human. On a 1:30 interview. Okay.
Thank you so much. Cesar, you're amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Bye. Thanks so much. Bye.
A whole nother level.